member for Calgary Edgemont.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to begin by recognizing the member of Edmonton Millwoods for her work in bringing forward this very important bill today. As the former Minister of Labour, the member's commitment to fairness and dignity in Alberta workplace is so well recognized. Bill 210 is another example of the member's commitment to standing up for workers and ensuring that when Albertans work hard, they are treated with respect that they deserve. Did you know right now, though, that Alberta is one of the only provinces that does not have protections in place for workers' tips? That means when a customer leaves a tip intending it to go to a worker who served them, there's no law ensuring that that tip actually is going to go back to the person who earned it. Bill 210 addresses this by confirming three very important principles. That the tips are the property of the worker who earned them, that employers are prohibited from withholding, deducting, or misclassifying the tips, and the workers may voluntarily enter into tip pooling agreements under clear and fair conditions. This bill is about basic fairness. If you do the work, you should get to keep it. The cost of living is soaring here in Alberta. Workers, especially those in the service industry, are really feeling the squeeze every day when they pay for their groceries, their rent, their childcare, tuition, and transportation. Every dollar matters. When workers are tipped for their services, that tip is not a bonus for businesses. It's a direct thank you to the workers. Bill 10 ensures those dollars actually stay in the pocket of the people who earn them. In my role as the Shadow Minister for Status of Women, I see how important this issue is, and it disproportionately impacts women. The service industry is heavily staffed by women, many who are balancing school, caregiving, and multiple jobs. When tips are skimmed or taken off the top, it's not just a financial hit, it's an erosion to their dignity and their independence. Protecting workers' tips is about protecting women's economic security. It's another step forward building workplaces that are safer, fairer, and more respectful. The member, when she was also the Minister of Labour, also ended the mandatory requirements that forced women to wear high heels. I think that it just shows her continued commitment to women and to employees in the labour. It's all connected, because dignity at work matters. I recently heard from a young woman in Calgary, Edgemont, a university student working as a server while she attends school. She shared with us how much she relies on her tips to cover essentials like rent, groceries, insurance, tuition. And in her own words, it says, "Good afternoon. My name is Megan. I'm a university student and server living in Ranchlands. While I attend school, I'm reaching out because I really hope you will support Bill 10. I work in a restaurant, and like a lot of people in the service industry, tips are a huge part of my income. With how expensive everything is getting, like rent, groceries, insurance, and tuition, I am counting every dollar. It is honestly frustrating knowing that right now there is nothing stopping employees from keeping part of the tips we earn. Customers think that they are tipping us for our services, but sometimes that money does not actually make it to the staff. This bill would make sure tips go to the people who worked for them, not the owners or the managers. I also think it would build more trust with customers because they deserve to know that their tips are actually helping the workers that they want to support. At the end of the day, we are working hard for those tips. They are not bonuses for the businesses. They are a way for customers to say thank you to us directly. I really appreciate the work the NDP are doing to stand up for things like this. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this. It would mean a lot to see Bill 210 pass. Sincerely, Megan. Well, I can assure you, Megan, that I will be voting in favour of Bill 10, as well as everybody on this side of the House, and hopefully maybe some people across the way. This bill matters to people like her. It matters that, counting on these extra dollars so they can stay afloat. I realize that there's been some concerns raised regarding the potential for red tape for employers. But let's be clear. Bill 210 does not create unnecessary red tape. It provides simple, clear rules. Workers keep their tips, employers can't deduct them or withhold them, and workers can choose to pool their tips if they wish. The clarity reduces confusion. It doesn't increase it. Questions have been raised about tip pooling agreements and potential ambiguity. Again, Bill 10 requires written voluntary agreements for pooling, ensuring transparency and fairness. It preserves flexibility within the workplace while protecting workers from corrosion and unfair practices. Finally, the enforcement concerns have been raised in the Alberta Employment Standards System already that manages the wage complaints effectively. Adding tip protection falls naturally within that framework. Most businesses already maintain electronic payment record, making compliance straightforward. Enforcement challenges are not a reason to deny basic fairness for Alberta's workers. When we were in government, when the Alberta NDP was government, we raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour because we believed that nobody working full-time should live in poverty. And again, I would like to thank the member for Edmonton Millwoods and our former Labour Minister. Bill 210 built on that legacy. It's making sure that workers don't just survive, but they are respected for the work that they do and compensated fairly. When Albertans leave a tip, they're showing respect for worker service. They're not padding an employer's profits. If you can't support basic fairness like this, you're not standing with the working people. You're standing in their way. You're not standing with Albertans. Protecting workers' tips, it shouldn't be controversial. It should be supported by everybody in this chamber. It's common sense. It's putting fairness, it's putting dignity. We're looking at now respecting the people who keep Alberta's economy running first. It is a respect for the people that serve us when we go into the businesses. I urge all of the members in this House to support Bill 210. We need to be standing with the workers to protect their earnings and to show that in Alberta we value hard work and we value fairness. I've had the joy of a couple times being able to, during constituency week and a few times before that, being able to go into a restaurant. And the excitement when you tell the young server, my goodness, my colleague from Edmonton Millwoods, she's got this bill and it's going to protect your tips, and how excited they become. And to share this information and talk about the bill, and then can I tell my colleagues, is it okay if I share this with my other colleagues? It's like, please, yes, share this with everybody. And I hope that many of these, and mostly young women, have looked into the Bill 210 that the member for Edmonton Millwoods has put forward. And I hope that they start writing their MLAs, all of us, and CCing us to let us know, that they actually want us all to support Bill 210. We saw over the weekend how this is picked up, that CTV covered it because it's important. Global News covered it. They were talking to the workers. They were talking to the restaurant people. They were listening and talking to people. And I think that it would be a good lesson to all of us to listen to what we're being told by industry, that we're being asked by the people that are members of restaurants and salons, and they're asking us to protect their tips, that they're not able to survive right now on just minimum wage alone, that they need these tips to be able to pay their bills, support their families, go to university. All these things are so important. And it goes back again to that dignity and respect for people. And, we all want Alberta's economy to be thriving. But we need to know that also that the people that are there are being taken care of and they're being protected. Our wages, go back to that minimum wage. That minimum wage hasn't increased since the NDP were in government, and that's just shameful. It's shameful during, oh,